Hey y'all, so I'm back and I'm here to do a video about my breastfeeding tips that I have for beginner's moms. So I'm a beginner breastfeeder myself, and these are just a few of the things that you're gonna say hi, say hello, say hello. These are just a few of the things that I guess a few of the things that I learned. So the first thing I would suggest is to make a plan for your breastfeeding, whatever you want to do. If you want to bottle feed and breastfeed, if you only want to pump, if you only want to latch, make a plan for yourself, because I do know sometimes things don't always go as planned, but at least make a plan and say, this is what I want for myself, this is what I want for my baby as far as, breastfeeding. Make a plan. I would also say know your limit. It's a lot of pressure associated with breastfeeding. You have people who are gung ho for breastfeeding, and breastfeeding is not for everyone. Like it's really not. Some women don't produce milk. Some women produce milk, but only for a little while. It dries up. Some women only produce milk on one side. So know your limit. Know what you can and can't do. I don't know why she's so fussy. She's not hungry, guys. Know what you can and can't do. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't try to be like, Betty Joe next door who breastfed her baby till he was 5. Do what you can do. Know your limit. And what you can't do, don't beat yourself up over. That's very important, because when you stress, you will decrease your supply. You won't be sleeping, and you need sleep and rest and a stress-free environment, to produce the best milk. And also your baby can feel when you're stressed and you're tense, and you want to be as relaxed as you can be. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. I will also say have a support system. I feel like it's very important. Have a support system, whoever it might be. It might be your mom, it might be your sister, it might be the ladies at the Y, it might be your stroller stride friends, whomever it might be, your husband, whoever it is. Just have a support system, somebody you can talk to that will encourage you when you feel like you can't do it or time is hard. Whatever the case may be, I would suggest, having a support system. Another thing I would suggest, just because it worked so well for me, is a breast pump. I pump my milk into a bottle, so that way my daughter can feed her, my son can feed her, my husband can feed her. I'm not the only provider of food. And even it is my milk, but someone else can have that bonding time, because when you feed your baby's looking at you, they're engaged. And I want everybody to experience that. She's not only my baby, she's everyone's baby. So I want my husband to experience it, and I want my daughter to experience it. She's a big sister, and my son. So I would suggest getting a pump. And if you're going to get a pump, get a really good pump. Or either learn to hand express. Even with the really good pump, you still want to massage your breasts to kind of, get the milk flowing. And if you prefer a manual pump, go ahead and, get the massage and get the milk out. A pump is not going to pull your milk as good as your baby will. But if you can get a good technique down with your pump, you can get a good amount of milk out. And know your flange size. I think it's like 24 and a 27. Know your size, because if you don't have the right size flange, when you're pumping, it is going to be painful. So know your size as well, is my suggestion. Another thing that helped me when I was pumping was I would put a little bit of olive oil or Vaseline either on my nipple or in the flange, so that when it sucks, it's not rubbing against the flange. That means it's too small. But what I prefer is a tighter squeeze, because I feel like a tighter squeezes the breast more and forces the milk out more. Excuse me. So I actually prefer my squeeze a little tighter, and the olive oil just helps it glide a little bit better. And then also with the massaging that you do around your areola to get the milk flowing out. I have different techniques. and tools. So as far as, like I said, techniques as far as like massaging the breast, using a warm compress, your heating pad, massaging, those things, those are my little techniques I would do. And then also, when you're trying to latch your baby, I would say use your bobby pillow. Try different positions. There's many different positions. My favorite position is just to cradle her under my pillow and let her head rest on my pillow, on the bobby pillow. You might can try a nipple shield if the latching is too hard. I mean, you know, like in the beginning, if it's too painful, you can try that. Who are you fussing at? Who are you fussing at? She's so fussy. So I would say try different techniques and different tools. Also use your nipple cream. I think Medela has one. Lanolin. Make sure you're using that because it will help with the nipple soreness. Another thing that really helped me was a pumping schedule. It can be very tedious to keep washing out all these pumping materials, but make a pumping schedule. I had my schedule for every 3 hours I would pump. And the more I pumped, the easier it got. And I was able to eventually latch her on to my breast. And so sometimes I would pump, sometimes I would give her formula. Just make a pumping schedule. And if you latch her and you know, if you latch your child, not her, but if you latch your child and you still have 2 hours until you pump, still pump, and then just store your milk in the freezer or the refrigerator. So a pumping schedule really helped me out. That goes back also to make a plan. Use your nipple cream as long as you need to. There's no limit on how long you can use it or how little, you know, you can use it. Just use it to, you know, to where you feel as though you don't need it anymore. And then again, find a comfortable position to nurse. If you're nursing, the bobby pillow, a nipple shield, in your rocking chair, laying on your side, laying backwards and letting the baby kind of like lean towards you. Whatever works for you, you know, works. And that was pretty much, those are my pretty much tips that I figured out on my own milk supply. I just felt like, you know, you look at other women, they got 32 ounces in one day. I'm like, how do you pump 32 ounces in one day? And I'm barely pulling out 4 ounces, you know. So another thing, I was concerned that my milk supply was low. Another thing that I looked up and I figured out it helped was my fenugreek. And I take about, probably about 2 or 3 of these a night. Yeah, and it smells like syrup. It smells so good. And I was drinking this Mother's, I don't have any more, and I have to order online because they don't sell it here. But my Mother's milk, and it does have the fenugreek in it, but these capsules are 610 milligrams, 610, and they're the plastic capsules, and I just take it out, and I always I drink some like sleepy time tea or lemon tea, and I'll pop the capsule open and put it in my tea, and then I was drinking the Mother's milk, but the fenugreek in here is only 35. And then it also have blessed thistle, and I think that was the other thing that really helps with your milk, the thistle, blessed thistle. She's sleeping. Is the thistle. Yes, but I like this, but this doesn't have enough of what I need to see a real increase in my supply. I honestly do think they help. I think they help. And another thing I want to touch on is, another tip is know your letdown feeling. My letdown is very painful. You know, your letdowns when your milk is ready to come out. Mine is very painful. It feels like pins and needles. It's normal for some women. Some women don't feel it at all. But learn your feeling, because if you don't know your feeling of your letdown, of when your milk is there and ready, it can discourage you from breastfeeding. So know your feeling, what it feels like, and just be encouraged. Breastfeeding is hard. It's not for everyone. It's painful in the beginning. It sucks. But once you get used to it, once you stick through it, the bond that you have with your baby is unmeasurable. I mean, you're already going to have a bond with your baby because it's your baby, but the whole, I was at the point where I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. And I would latch her on, and it would hurt the initial latch, and then she would just look at me and like gaze in my eyes, and I'm gazing back, and I'm like, oh my God, I love this girl so much. And that's the experience that I want, that I long for. The whole time I was trying to get pregnant, that was what it was that I wanted. And so be encouraged to breastfeed. If you ever need someone to talk to, y'all guys can message me down below, ask questions. Like I said, I'm not a professional. This is just a beginner. With the things that help me, maybe they can help you too. So be encouraged, ladies, and I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.